Oh my god, it's Rozzy and friends.
Azul!
And that's why I hate Five Nights at Freddy's. Oh, hi, welcome back to Games with Friends. I opened the floodgates early, didn't I? Okay, but that's what we were talking about. We touched on it briefly there. I don't hate it. I think it's one of the best premises for a horror game I've ever seen.
Then what do you not like about it? Let's start with that.
I could talk. The thing about games are, games are escapism and whatnot, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, you rummage too? Oh, neat. As I plunder a body, let's think about what I don't like about another game.
Doom.
Yeah, I'll get to that later, too. Because that made me think of something from the game, which is actually something I like.
Dum.
Oh, yeah. 3 tires. I'll try it. Might fast forward this bit, I don't know. No, it's not that many. But where was I? What I don't like? Okay, yeah, I was talking about... I hate to knock on it because it's built on a particular engine. I forget what the name of the thing he used to make it. The guy's name is Scott Cawthon, isn't it?
Something like that.
And he seems like a nice enough guy. I'm not one of those people... I don't want to hop on the bandwagon just to hate it because, there are a lot of those. And I've never been a big fan of just hating something for the sake of hating something.
Mm-hmm.
I am, leery when things are told... when I'm told things are really good and whatnot, I am leery and I'm suspicious and I don't jump on them immediately.
Yep.
But I don't, I try not to hate them. I don't go out of my way to hate them, I guess I should say. And having seen so much, the thing that's always got me about the game is... you know how I mentioned games are an escape. They build their own worlds and realities and whatnot, right?
Uh-huh.
And good game designer can make you forget you're sitting at a computer, clicking a mouse or typing in keys or whatever. That's what that's what a game designer aims to do. And I honestly think the first hour or so you spend with Five Nights at Freddy's actually will do that. I feel like you will be into it at that point. But it's after that first hour, it kind of loses a lot of that because... you can see where a lot of people just started getting frustrated with trying to beat it rather than getting scared of it.
Yep.
Whereas good horror can still scare you, even if you know it's coming. You don't want to do it even though you know you have to, kind of thing. Son of a bitch. And the thing about Five Nights at Freddy's is, after that first hour, it becomes incredibly obvious you're just kind of still trying to just beat the game at this point. It's no longer as scary as it was.
I would agree to that. Because you already know what the scare is. It's just the anticipation that builds up that gets you.
Yeah, that's one of the things it's got good going for it, I guess you could say. There we go. 3 tires. Thank you.
There's only 4 jump scares, technically. Well, no, there's a little bit more than that.
First game had 5, didn't it?
It had 4 jump scares and then hallucinations, if you want to consider those jump scares.
Hold on. It had 4, and then it had the golden one.
Mm-hmm.
And then it had...
hallucinations.
Freddy actually had 2.
Freddy had 2, Bonnie had some.
Every one of them had 1 except Freddy. Freddy had 2, so a
Freddy had 2.
grand total of 6.
Well, I guess, yeah, he did have 2.
Because there's one where he, springs up from nowhere in the darkness, and the other one where he comes from your side.
Yeah.
So, they're technically the same thing, but they're also technically different.
Yeah. But what I mean, is the hallucinations are different, though, and I think those... a bit, and seeing them twitch is a little eerie. But
the thing that always got me about the games is, I hate to say this because this is going to sound like one of those, graphics are everything kind of thing. When I'm not saying that when I say what I'm about to say. The thing about Five Nights that gets me is I'm very distinctly aware how the game is set up. Because it's a still image with other still images, the open... You suddenly find yourself surrounded by zombies. They know what I'm talking about. It's the fans! It's the fan, Azul!
Get him! You look, Prego.
Oh, God. Brains, please. Oh.
Oh.
But, I'm not saying everything has to be hyper-realistic looking, because one of my favorite games of all time...
I still think it looks amazing, honestly. Well, I like pre-rendered stuff like that.
Oh yeah, the pre-rendering looks good, but I'm very distinctly aware that it's not a 3D environment. I'm looking at a picture with a fisheye lens over it.
Mm-hmm.
That's my problem with, like, that's my biggest problem, is, like, I can get into escapism, I can get into a game, like, Saints Row 2
So have you actually tried it?
Have I actually tried it? I did do the demo.
Okay.
And that's why I didn't buy it, because I said, it's interesting, but I mean, I'm just sitting there thinking, if this is it, I don't really want to buy it for that.
Now, have you seen Foxy, correct?
Yeah, the thing that runs down the hall, right?
Yeah, I mean, what would you consider that then?
What?
Would you say that's in a 3D model escape, or
that
what?
That is a 3D model on a alpha layer background or a green screen background that is chromed out on a still image.
Oh. Would you say it's terrifying to see it run down the hallway, though?
That, I give it credit. The first time you see it, it's actually kind of... And what I think would have worked better is if you had more time to react to it. If you had time to shut the door and let it pound, it would be more terrifying in that regard.
I mean, you still do.
And the thing is, from what I understand, it actually gets faster each time you do manage to stop it.
No.
What?
No.
No? I thought he got faster every time you actually shut the door.
Nope. Instead, every time you shut the door, he takes more power.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, that could have worked, though. Like, the first time you see him, you actually have a chance, and it's terrifying, you know? You stopped him, and he's banging on your door. That's scary. And then, like, at that point, after that, he could have gotten faster, where he's actually a kill if you do it like that. I think that would have worked better in its favor.
Well, there's just ways around it. The thing is, the game becomes more trial and error than anything else later on.
Yeah, that's one of its... But the other big problem is, like, the thing you have to do is, like, the cameras and watching them, the anticipation and the horror of watching them, is gone because you have less and less time to actually watch them.
Exactly. I will agree with that.
And that's what I've always... Even the second one did it, where it's like, it introduces... you have to watch them, you have to keep an eye on them to keep them from moving, but then it introduces other things to try and keep you, multi-managing and whatnot, so it's not just a cakewalk. Son of a bitch!
Son of a bitch, son of a bitch, son
You
of a
shot
bitch.
me. But, you're so busy, like, caught up micromanaging every little thing. Like, the second one introduced the puppet, and the things that can stand in front of you, and the two vents, and the doorway in front, and the flashlight, and Foxy, and it had so much going on that you might as well just... Like, you never have to look at anything again. Like, the only thing
you have to do for your monitor is just turn it on, wind the box, turn it down, flip on the mask.
Yeah, that's all you do. And, like, flash the hallway if Foxy's standing there. And in the first one, all you have to do is watch Pirate's Cove repeatedly.
Yep, and check the lights.
Yeah, each time you have to shut the right door before you check it. That's on 20/20/20. And that's just like, that's... And, like, the first night, Jim Sterling, you ever see Jim Sterling's playthrough of the first level?
Uh-uh.
I can't remember if he won or not, but I remember he ended up just sitting there. Like, he stopped watching the cameras after a while, and he just kind of sat there, and I want to think he won the first night.
Yeah.
And that was it. I was like, you can win with...
I'm pretty sure Foxy does not activate on the first night, in which case...
He can. I've seen it happen.
I know he can, but I think that's if you look at him long enough.
All Sham Noel played through it too. He really riffed on the game. And yeah, I give him credit. Like, it's not as scary as people were making it out to be. It is not the scariest thing ever.
I think it's scary because even though I know how the game worked, when I was in California with my friends and we were playing it on like a big screen with lights out and all like speakers and everything,
right?
It was actually really terrifying. And it made me dread playing the game.
Okay, and at this point, I think I'm going to shift to talking about the things I like, so it just doesn't seem like a big hate-filled episode.
Banter, rant.
I think it's got a really, as I said, it's probably the best premise I've ever seen. Because as animatronics have that...
involve you being able to stop the horror or save yourself from it.
Yeah, the thing about horror I've always liked is you have to have an option to be able to do something about it. Like in Amnesia, you can run. You can hide. There's ways to get out of it. In Silent Hill, you have a method of self-defense. In Five Nights at Freddy's, you have the door, but if you're like half a second too slow, it's over. And you can only sit there and wait for it to happen.
And then that's where the anxiety kind of kicks in.
It's not anxiety at that point. Like, here's the thing, like, if the door stops working, you're fucked. You know if you flip up the screen and flip it down, it's going to be right in front of you.
Yep.
And that's not dread. You know it's there. You literally know it's going to happen.
Unless you've never played it before, in which case it will get you pretty good.
Yeah, but like it becomes pretty evident, pretty clear. Again, shifting to positive, I said I was going to be positive. Animatronics. Like, I went to my nephew's birthday party a few months ago at Chuck E. Cheese's, and I saw some of them, and I said, why did I like these? This was before Five Nights at Freddy's, so this might have been like a year ago I went. And I look at the animatronics on the stage and I said, I used to like these as a kid. They're actually kind of terrifying. They're pretty creepy. You know, when you get older, when you're a kid, you just see the exterior costume on the skeleton. When you're older, you kind of look at it and go, this is, you know, your brain has gotten to that point where the uncanny valley.
Mm-hmm.
This thing is standing in shape like a humanoid, but it's meant to be a rat or something, and your brain doesn't process it right? And it's something about it just rubs you the wrong way. The uncanny valley. Cheesebutt walks off to take a piss and comes back with a bite wound.
Hey, at least he came back.
Mother of God.
I just said fuck it and ran.
So what, was that your alternative? Come back with a bite wound?
Yes.
None of those are things I like.
Why does everyone have to piss?
Everyone needs to pee.
Every time someone goes to piss, something bad happens.
I think I may have missed it. Oh, I'll take it for a mouth kit, med kit.
Ew.
But I think it's Five Nights at Freddy's, definitely one of the best premises I've ever seen. It also, like I said, in that first hour, the atmosphere is pretty solid. Even all the way through, the atmosphere is solid. There's ambient noises and sound effects, and there's weird little Easter eggs about the environment that modify and change if you're paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, the atmosphere is solid. The premise is great. This is on normal difficulty, might I add, looking at this. This was a normal difficulty recovery run. And most of those are two-shotters. There we go. And so, yeah, kudos to idea, kudos to, what's the word, atmosphere, kudos to character design, because those are some pretty good designs.
What did you think of the plot that you know of?
From what I know, since I didn't like the demo and I didn't like the other demo either, I just thought, you know, this is something I might enjoy watching someone else overreact to or something. And, you know, whether they overreact or not is another argument for other people I'm not going to insult. Because I have respect for other people like that. Far be it from me to judge people who make a good living. But, the plot, I'm trying to remember the first one. The first one really didn't have a plot, did it?
No.
It was literally you doing... The first one was literally about you doing the job. It made a reference to a bite from 87, and I can't remember the year the first one supposedly ends. What year was the first one in? 2000... Was it modern time? 2000 something? 2013?
No, lower than that. 1992, I think.
Was it really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, like I said, I never played it all the way through myself. I didn't pay attention to little details.
Well, I guess think of it this way: is that just it requires like just math and knowing what the wages were back then.
Okay, so is that what it is? No, one of the checks has a date on it.
The year's edged out.
Oh, was it? I don't remember. Like I said, I don't know.
Well, you get 120. Excuse me.
I guess that's another one of the things I couldn't get about it. Why would you go back?
I know. Even the phone guy's like, why would you do this?
Well, in the second one, didn't he? He was like,
yeah.
Why are you there? Well, to be fair, that one wasn't about... That one was when they were still used to the Metronics wandering around and whatnot. And, okay, the second one was a prequel, right?
Yeah, no. Second one was.
That's what I said.
They said the first one. My mistake. But yes.
Okay, so the second one was a prequel. And,
there's already a third one, by the way.
Yeah, I saw the trailer came out.
I have no idea what the hell that's supposed to be. It looks like a fusion of a rotted Bonnie, Freddy thing.
I don't know. It's interesting. At this point, I'll say the plot is interesting enough to kind of keep me wanting to see what happens next.
Like, I honestly can't play those kind of games. I suck, and I can't deal with horror games, but I love watching them. I don't know why.
If you want to call... Again, that's if you want to call it horror. I don't want to make that sound mean. I'm just saying, you know... It's a jump scare game.
Well, let me put it this way. Fucking games like Clock Tower scare the hell out of me.
Now, to be fair, the original Clock Tower is a creepy game.
It is. Nelly the girl shrieks. And the ambient noises when they got eaten and something else.
Sound design is one of the key things of horror, that's for sure.
Yep. They did a really good job in that game.
And I'll give Freddy's that. You got the good sounds. Except for the jump scare sounds. I don't know what that's supposed to be.
I have no idea. I think the first one had the best sound compared to the other two.
Yeah, it was a lot less interesting the second time around. Kudos for trying to, like, what's the word?
mix it up.
Yeah, mix it up. But, you know, it happens. And, okay. So I think I'm going to close the chapter on that one. We won't bring that up again.
I will.
Because that was a whole episode talking about a very successful game franchise and a guy made by a single developer who does work hard and I legitimately think is trying to make a good product. I don't think he's trying to skimp out and be cheap or anything.
I don't think he is either.
So just because it's, it doesn't appeal to me so much doesn't mean it's not good, doesn't mean it can't appeal to other people, and then I don't wish the designer the best and the people who play it to enjoy it. And this has been Games with Friends. Playing
Next
Five Nights.
time, Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, let's.
Two.
I promise we're not going to talk about it again.